Welcome, everybody. We are actually live on Zoom. So for those of you that are kind of filtering in, please say hi. Let us know where you are tuning in from. We're also live on Facebook, and we would love for you to comment where you're from and keep on commenting throughout this broadcast. This is your time to ask questions and interact with each other, and we're really super excited to be here. This is the first beauty lounge of this year of 2022. So, hey, everybody. Hello, hello. We see all sorts of people coming in. So tonight we have a few special guests with us, and I'll introduce them in just a little bit. But we wanted to have a special beauty lounge to really kick off our 28 days of skin challenge. Now, this is an ongoing challenge that we have consistently throughout the year, but we thought that it would be a perfect time to kick it off again with the new year. And so we are going to talk a little bit about that, what the challenge is, how you can participate, what you need to do to get started. And then we're going to hear some amazing testimonials from some of our guests tonight that have actually did the challenge already and continue to use the regimen that they started with their challenge. And they're going to share a little bit about what the challenge did for them and their skin and how it improved their lives. So I'm really excited to hear from you guys. So thanks for being here. So to get started, I want to introduce our special guest. She is a medical esthetician, Vina Hudgens. So thank you so much for being here tonight, Vina.
Oh, thanks for inviting me, Lee. I appreciate that so much. And I love nothing better than to talk skin. And you know that, right?
I do. And, the reason why we asked you to be on tonight is because you are so knowledgeable. I know you've been in the industry for a long time. You've had a lot of different clients with a lot of different skin types and skin issues. And so it's really an honor to have you here to chat with us tonight about our topic, our 28 days of skin. So, Vina, why don't you kind of share with everybody, just real quick, how you came across our company and our skincare and, one of the reasons why you fell in love with it.
Thanks for asking me about that, because you know what? Here's the biggest thing. As an esthetician and as having a medical spa for close to 30 years, I'll blow my cover here, close to 30 years. We get through the door every single day, someone new. And you know that, Lee, even spas and salons, and you get someone through the day, through your door every single day wanting to sell you their product. Right? But the problem is that their product is just basic. It's, to me, there was nothing new. There was nothing exciting about their product. And to be honest with you, when I first started this company, wasn't even looking at the product. I was really looking at the supplements, because we all know that skincare starts from the gut. I mean, let's really be honest here, you guys. Skincare starts from the gut. So it's really, really important that you have all of that. But then when I did start taking a look at the ingredients, but not just the ingredients in these products, but the technology. And when I started looking at the technology of these products, I realized that they were really cutting edge. You have things like needle-free serum. And I was shocked when I started looking at the ingredients in needle-free serum. I couldn't believe they had neodermal in it. That is an ingredient that there's no way I could afford it. If I had my own skincare line, and most of you guys know that, and there was no way that I could have been able to source that ingredient, but yet we had it right here. They had it right there. And that ingredient was just a game changer. So when I started looking at that ingredient, then I started looking at the liposome technology that they have in these products, which again was blown away. So I mean, those two things alone, you have amazing ingredients in these products, you have amazing technology. I mean, too many people want to sell you products that just have ingredients that sound good, smell good, but what do they really do? And I love that we have all these clinical studies on all these products. Anyone that's really serious about skincare, you want a skincare that is going to do something. We hear that all the time. Oh, well, this person's putting, like a shea butter on, or they're putting some kind of this real rich cream on. And honestly, I'm so glad social media most of the time cannot see the look on my face when I read this stuff. Right? So I am so thrilled that number one, I was able to carry products that were cutting edge. Number two, the technology was amazing. And number three, the most important thing to me was that people couldn't buy these products cheaper than what I could sell them for. And in our industry, that is unheard of, especially with all the different social media outlets that you can buy these other products so much more cheaper than what we were selling them for. So all of that together, it was a huge sell for me. These products do exactly what they say they're going to do. And Lee, that's the best.
Yeah, and I love that. And so I just kind of want to give some preference on how we came up with the 28 days of skin challenge. And really it has to do with, well, number one, it takes about 28 days to form a habit, right? So we all kind of know that if we do something long enough, it becomes a habit, and we're going to be apt to do it more often every day. And that's really the key. But there's also some truth to your skin regenerating, every 28 days as well. So do you just want to touch on that as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, as everyone knows, you make close to 1 billion skin cells a day. Now, that being said, you also shed between 20 and 30,000 skin cells a day. So your skin is really preparing itself for that cellular turnover. So you want to make sure I like to break things down, and to make it real simple, it's like an onion. As we're peeling back that onion, if you don't have something that's succulent underneath, that's really looking great underneath, and you're just going to keep peeling back old. Right? So it's really important when you first start out, especially when we're talking about 28 days, which I think is brilliant, because not only does 28 days start this new skin regimen for you with anything else, but it also prepares your skin. So when we do have that major skin turnover, that cellular turnover, that we're going to see some amazing looks. We're gonna focus on, and that's the biggest thing, Lee, is I think everyone thinks anti-aging, but not everybody, that's their number one thing. What we want to look at is, what is it you want to see changed? That's the first thing when I would talk to a client or a patient.
And not only that, like, my skin changes throughout the year based on climate, or just, in general, what I'm doing, my lifestyle, obviously, as I've aged. So it can be very confusing. So we actually relaunched our custom skin quiz. If you guys have not taken it yet, you can actually do it under 2 minutes. I timed myself. I took it. I've taken it pretty many times, and you can get done with it in under 2 minutes. So it will not take you a long time. However, it's going to ask you specific questions about your lifestyle, your skin's needs, what skin type you have, all of these sorts of things. And then at the end, it's going to give you some recommendations. At that point, then what you can do is really dig down deep and think, what am I willing to commit to? We all should be cleansing, toning, and moisturizing, like Vina said. Then we can start adding in serums or treatment creams based on some of the things that we want to address. It's going to be different for everyone. What I love about the custom skin quiz is it's going to ask you, what are the things you want to address? What are some of the things you struggle with? And it actually, I believe, you can't even, if you would take it a few times, you may get different answers if you answer differently, right? But the combinations that it gives you, I think there's 190,000 different combinations that you could get. So it's very customizable. And I love that, because we're all different, right? Our skin is all different. Our needs are all different. So I don't think that one size does fit all when it comes to skincare. So where do you find the quiz? You go to motivescosmetics.com. And once you go there, you're going to actually click on the Learn tab, and you're going to see the custom skin quiz right there. Now, here's the thing. Even if you took it this summer, I advise you to take it again, because what I'm seeing where I live, it's very cold now. And a lot of my friends and my clients, they're like, man, my skin is, it's a lot drier than usual, or I'm noticing this, or I'm noticing that. And so I use a totally different regimen in the summer versus the winter. Does anybody else, do you want to raise your hand if you do too? Right?
Absolutely.
But the quiz really does take that confusion out, and it also gives you the knowledge on what is possible. And at that point, you can decide, well, maybe for my first 28 days, I'm going to add in one serum.
Right.
Use that for 28 days, see the results, and then you can always add in something else. Now, here's the thing. If you take the custom skin quiz and you're like, oh my gosh, it recommended this and that, I don't know. Reach out to your Motives Beauty advisor. If you don't have one, please reach out to us and we will help you. But they are so good at coaching you through everything and doing a consultation with you to help guide you on how to use the products, when to use the products, how to narrow it down for you. But it's an incredible quiz. So I want to hear from you guys in the comments. Have you taken the quiz? Yes or no? And if you haven't, that's your first homework assignment after leaving this session, is to take the quiz. And you can take it as many times as you want. So
how do you answer questions, right, Lee? If you haven't taken the quiz, so how do you answer those questions when the questions come up? And it's so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much fun, right?
Yeah. And I mean, if you're struggling with even what cleanser, toner, and moisturizer to use, it's going to give you recommendations on that as well. If you're unsure of your skin type, we have a blog post that helps you determine your skin type. But just pick whatever you feel is closest to what you think. And, you can always see the results that way. So I see a lot of, yes, I've taken it. So that's awesome. I love seeing that. And it's a great tool. And it's really been, I've been really happy and excited with it. So I absolutely love that.
Well, I love we're doing this 28 days all together. It's so nice to have each other to kind of maybe compare if you have questions, just to get advice from each other, because we all have different experiences with our skincare, right? So I love that we're doing this 28 days of skin all together, and that we can maybe post along the way, right, Lee?
Yes. And that's what I wanted to bring up next. So what I encourage all of you to do, so the first step is to take the custom skin quiz. The second step would be, what is your commitment level? What are you willing to add into your regimen? And then you're going to add that to your cart. You're going to order that. While you wait for everything to come, you're going to want to take a before picture. Now, don't feel like you have to share your before picture on social media, but I will tell you that if you do share it, your friends and family are going to be your biggest supporters. And I know when I first did it, and we'll hear from our guests in a little bit, I was really nervous to put myself out there like that. But what I found was a lot of people were like, I struggle with the same things, and, I can't wait to kind of see your progress through your journey. But even if you don't share it, it's really good for you to see your results, right? When you look back at it later, because sometimes when we're seeing ourselves every day, right? We don't always see the results, but when we look back, we're like, oh my gosh, I do see it now. So it's definitely for your reference. Now we're going to drop a link in the comments on a post that we have, not only about this ongoing challenge, but some tips on how you can take the best photos. But I will tell you that natural light is amazing for taking photos. So what I tell people to do is take your phone and just go around your house and go by each window and see where the light is the best. And that's where you're going to want to snap your picture. And then as as you go through your journey, I'm going to advise you to take a picture in like 7 days and maybe 14 days. And then, you know, after, just keep on taking those photos, right? After 28 days, you can take another one and try to take it in the same lighting so that you can really get a good feel for the results. So there's no shadows or, you know, because lighting can really make the skin look different too. And don't use filters, you know, just like make sure that it's your skin so you can see and everyone can see those results. So I don't know if anyone else has any tips on taking pictures, but keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it. You can go at, you know, about the same level or go just a little bit higher. You don't want to look too much down, but do the front of your face so we can really see. I know the last time we did it, we had some that even took the side of their face. You can definitely do that too. And I know we'll hear from some of you about that in a little bit too. But yeah, once you find that perfect spot, also note the weather, the time of day, because if it's sunny out or cloudy out, you know, that's going to vary as well. But yeah, make sure you do that. When you do post on social media, use our hashtag 28 days of skin so that we can help cheer you on and see your progress as well. You can also use LDV Glow Getter on your post as well. That's one of our hashtags we use with one of our skincare lines. And then tag Motives Cosmetics, tag Lumiere de Vie in it, because we like to share your progress too. And so you might get shared on our social media accounts with that. So are you guys ready to hear from some of our guests and hear, you know, some of the results that they had? If you want to put in the comments, yes, and we will start introducing them. And everyone's like, yes, for sure. So the first guest that I would like to introduce is Shannon. And Shannon actually is going to share a little bit about what the challenge did for her as far as just being more consistent and opening her up to more products and, you know, in the end, what she loved about the challenge. So would you want to share that with us, Shannon?
Yeah, sure. So I will say, I'll open by saying that the biggest thing for me when I did the challenge last year was actually getting the guts to put up my before photo on social media. I did not have an Instagram account for my Motive business. I had only just started it like a few days before. And so I was like, oh boy, I don't really have a lot of posts. And one of the first posts they're going to see is me without my makeup. And I swore that I would never go on social media without makeup. But I just said, well, if Loren can do it, I can do it. And I just went ahead and posted. And I was actually amazed at like the feedback that I had gotten. And like for myself, you know, like you don't see yourself every day. So when you do look in the mirror, like you're usually done up and you're used to seeing yourself one way. So for me, immediately, I just, you know, think, oh, I look terrible without makeup. But it was great to see the support just from friends and family. But then also, I think it helped me to connect with my customers because they could see me being vulnerable and putting myself out there. And I was very honest in my posts. I was like, I never thought I would do this. I'm just going to go ahead and give it a try. Like, this is me bare without makeup, no filters. It was very liberating. So I will say, I mean, there were so many positives with the challenge, but for me, that was like one of the biggest things because it really, like, it was out of my comfort zone and it helped me so much more later on after I'm done.
I love that. And I think that we can all relate to that, right? And one of the reasons why I really like this challenge is because it's real people and it's a real challenge. And I think it's important for us to share things that we struggle with, because if we struggle with it, other people struggle with it too. And I think like being more real, people are like, okay, so it's not just me. And it really does make people reach out to you because they want to know, okay, maybe this is something that can help with my challenges too. So I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Shannon. And then have you continued with your regimen since you started the challenge?
So I have, but I will say before, like I had one particular regimen. I've been using Intelligence for years. I didn't really change up, but it did force me to add in some. It was only supposed to be one new product, but I started adding in all kinds of things, and now like I'm doing it all the time. And I found some of my most favorite products this way. I know the Gilet, like I would have never tried that. One of my most favorite products, especially in the winter, because I have very dry skin, and like I don't know that I would have tried it because I was tried and true, always used the same stuff. And so I will say, yeah, I do continue with it, but I definitely try out more stuff now and be, I'm more experimental. And it also helps too, because when my customers have questions, they'll ask me about different things. So I can give my perspective, and I found that's been helpful too.
I absolutely love that. And so it worked. The 28 days of, that whole habit of that really kind of, I guess you got used to being consistent, and consistency is key when it comes to skincare. So I love that. And yeah, the Renewal Gelée is an amazing product that, is one of our newer staple products, and has a lot of amazing benefits. So awesome, awesome product.
Well, Lee, who doesn't like astaxanthin on top of your skin? I mean, any kind of sensitivity you have, it is so amazing. And in the wintertime, that's when your skin is usually the most sensitive. So yeah, the jelly is so amazing with the astaxanthin in it. I agree.
For sure. So our next guest that I would like to speak is Mary. And Mary actually noticed a difference just really by incorporating one of her favorite products. And I'll let her talk a little bit about what that is. So you want to share with us, Mary?
Absolutely. I was so glad to hear Vina talk about the needle-free serum, because that has just changed my whole regimen. It has changed my skin incredibly. And I really was pretty skeptical when I started on the challenge, and it has just made such a difference in my forehead and around my eyes and around my nose and my neck area. And it's just an incredible product. I use it morning and night, and I would highly recommend it to anyone who's looking for something to add to their regimen. So just jump out there and give it a try.
I love that. So have you been using it consistently since you first started with the 28 Days of Skin Challenge?
Absolutely. Consistently every day. Yes. And I started to see results about after 7 days or so.
Wow.
And then it just went on to improve and get better. In fact, I was at an event, and I had a woman come up to me and say, "I have never seen such a smooth neck on anyone." And she said, "Do you mind if I ask how old you are?" And I told her, and she said, "That is amazing. What do you use? I have to try it." So she is now a customer.
Love that. Awesome. And needle-free actually is one of my favorite products as well. And I use it consistently. And I feel like I almost look better than I did even 10 years ago. And so I'm okay with that. So love that product. Needle-free serum is awesome. And that's also one of the products that we do have trial size samples of as well, because a lot of people do see progress with their skin very quickly. And it's different for everyone, but the fact that you saw it that quick is amazing. And Mary, I have to say, I know I complimented you before we went live, but your skin does look amazing. It's so smooth, and your neck and everything. So keep on doing what you're doing. Congratulations
you.
on everything you're doing, and keep on going. I love it. And we'll probably have you on even again to see, like, okay, what's going on? You know, what's the progress, Mary?
I'd love to.
Love it. So our next guest that I would like to speak is Bobby. And Bobby too is going to share a little bit about what she started to see with her skin and some of the compliments that she started to hear as well. So if you want to share that with us, Bobby.
Awesome. Yes. After the challenge, it was amazing. What I saw was the radiance and like a healthy glow, just like that glow. Obviously, I didn't see it myself, but with the before and afters. And then, like you said, Lee, I was like getting so many compliments from randomly. Oh, your skin looks amazing. I need to know what you do. And I was taken back because, you know, all I really did with the challenge is being consistent with exfoliating and, you know, being consistent with a few serums, so, you know, so that my skin was more hydrated. And, you know, so participating, it just helped get into a self-care routine. And it didn't take that much longer, or it doesn't take a lot of time. Like people say, how much time? You find your way. And that was what the challenge helped me with, is that self-care. Okay, I could do this for 28 days. And after that, and it's a habit, it's not that much time.
I love that. So what is one of the products that you incorporated that, you know, I guess it would sort of be your favorite product? What would you say that would be?
What I feel that I saw the with consistency, the results with, Vina will laugh, the timeless peel pads, the timeless prescription peel pads, that I really think helps the radiance, you know, and, you know, being consistent with the needle free.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. So for those of you that aren't familiar with the timeless pads that she's talking about, it's actually alpha hydroxy exfoliator. So I think just, yeah, exfoliating to kind of help that those cells rejuvenate or regenerate. And then, you know, I'm a true believer too, that if we exfoliate enough, that our products can absorb in and do what they're meant to do as well. So I love that, Bobby. And, you know, keep on going with your regimen. Are you, like, how many products are you using now at this point in the morning, we'll say?
In the morning is more. I don't even know, but I love.
I know it's like hard to like, oh, I'd have to count.
But I like the vitamin C and the soother, the vitamin B. Those two, I really like those together.
The super soother.
The super soother. Yeah. I
Awesome.
like, and of course the free under our makeup, right?
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. I love that. So the next person I'd love to hear from is Ivy. And I asked actually Ivy to be on here because I know that she was doing some things through social media too, and just getting a lot of great response. So if you want to share with us, Ivy, you know, what this challenge did for you.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Lee, for having me on, by the way. I'm really happy to be here. And I loved this challenge. I can't even remember which year I started. Was it 2020 or 2021? Because at this point, I feel like I've lived like in a cave. But I have not stopped since the first time it launched. I just kind of bought a bunch of stuff at once and then started to incorporate different things into the routines day and night as I would run out of things. So one of the things I've started doing of recent, since I've been doing that, is I love the brushes. So the skincare brushes have been my like exciting like I just get super excited to use them. So if I don't wash my face at night, I can't use the brushes. So I got to get to washing my face, right? So it's just like an exciting thing to think of. It's a ritual. That's a lot of the reason why I love this challenge, is because you get to sit down and breathe and be with yourself and give back to yourself. So I think that's probably the most important thing for me that I've gotten out of it. And I'm laughing at your question, Lee, about, well, how many products do you use? I have a lot of products right here that I use day and night. It's gotten kind of crazy, but I love rotating like at least 4 serums. I love the SPF during the day, the chemical SPF, because like people were saying in the comments, the Cell Labs is discontinuing, but that chemical SPF goes down first. So you kind of have to get it in, and then it's 50. So it's such a great protection step. And then I love the Gelée as well. And I've actually incorporated the Skintelligence Skin Perfecting Complex. I hadn't tried this in a while. Yeah. So I had it in the travel size kit, and actually that travel size is awesome too, but I incorporate my serums into it because I know it's not as like for my goals, like anti-aging or whatever. So in my like mid 30s now. So by the way, thank you, Jax, who's my mentor and business partner, because she got me into skincare by way of, I just looked at her eyeballs one day at lunch and I was like, how come you don't look your age? That's not fair. And she was like, well, you don't have to look your age either. And I was like, tell me how. So it's just exciting. It's fun. I want to be like a vampire, vampires don't age. So that's my goal. And so these products definitely will hopefully get me there. And it's exciting for my clients to see the progress too, because as I'm doing the challenge, people just always compliment me all the time. Ivy, your skin looks great. Like, they kind of know what I'm doing because I'm posting about it so much. But I have been incorporating different techniques as well. So I'll teach my clients the new tricks and tips that I have by way of me focusing on my different switching it up. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And I know that you have actually done a lot of consultations as well with your clients and helped them on their skincare journey. And so that's really rewarding in itself too, to be able to help people that are struggling or just looking for solutions for some of the things they're dealing with. So keep on doing it. I love seeing it, and can't wait to check back with you as well. So thanks so much for sharing that with us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, anytime. So our next guest that I would love to hear from is Karen. And Karen, oh my gosh, like you had such amazing results. If anyone is looking for her before and after pictures, they're out there on social media. But Karen, I would love for you to share what this challenge did for you and your skin.
Well, thanks for having me, Claire. So I'm trying to think what I added. I've used Cell Labs for 10 years. So I've always used that. And as LDV has added more of the treatments and serums, I've added those into my routine. So I like those. I love the Cell Labs, and I'm going to miss the day cream. I'm trying out different things, trying to see what I'll do to replace it. But I've added in the LDV 50 plus sunscreen, and I added the Hydrate ×3, and I use the fading serum, fading fluid, and sometimes I don't use it as often as I should as the super cream. I was using that at night. So those are the major. I've always used serum concentrate. I've used that, I think, since it came out. That's one of my favorites. So like a lot of people, I sort of rotate in some different treatments, but the very basic, of course, the Cell Labs products for the very basics. And I exfoliate regularly. I love the Timeless skin pads, love them. And I also use, I like the sponges.
The cognac sponges?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the feel of those. I have cleanser at my sink. I have cleanser in the shower. I have sponges, brushes, everything's around. There's always something available for me to wash my face with. But yeah, it's been good.
Do you think it was more the consistency or just introducing more products that you started to see results?
I definitely think it was consistency. because I really didn't have a strong evening routine. And you know, in the morning, I'm retired now, but when I was working, you know, you're getting ready for work at 5:30 in the morning and you're saying, really, I am going to do all these treatments? That's not happening. So, you know, you skimp on some of the treatments. So now that I'm retired, adding in and using the treatments consistently has really been helpful.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. And you gave some great tips. So, you know, if anyone else is struggling with that, I'm sure you can relate. But man, I was just so impressed. And I felt like you were seeing results pretty quick too, which is even better. But just to see your journey, you know, over the last year or so, it's been awesome. And I know one of the things you also told me was, you know, it's nice that you don't have to put as much foundation on over your skin too to cover it up, because your redness used to bleed through a little bit through your foundation, and now, you know, it's much better now, which is great too. But your skin does look amazing, so congratulations.
Yeah, I will say that taking those before, I took the before picture, but I didn't publish it until I had the results.
Yeah,
And
exactly. And
was,
that's what you can do too.
it really
Because then
took everything I had to put those pictures out there because they're pretty ugly. But I felt like everyone else said, you get a lot of support once it's there, and people were amazed at the change in the 28 days. So I was happy with it ultimately.
you should be, girl. I love it. Love it.
Thanks.
Right.
So now I would love to hear from Shelby, and Shelby's gonna, you know, add to the conversation and let us know what the challenge did for her. So welcome, Shelby.
Hey guys. So when I did the challenge, my issue that I really wanted to focus on, in addition to the 3 steps of cleanse, tone, and moisturize, was I've always had some issues with acne growing up. And actually, my mom got involved with motives and skincare when I was like 10 years old. So I've kind of been educated about like always take your makeup off before you go to bed, and like always do the cleanse, tone, moisturizer 3 steps. But like what Vina was saying earlier was I realized that a lot of the acne issues were related to my gut. So as part of my 28-day challenge, and then in addition for the topical, what I did was the volcanic mask at least twice a week. And then there was a training that talked about using either the jade roller after it had been like in the refrigerator, or our freezer roller to kind of calm down the inflammation. And then the third thing that I did was it was winter time when I did my challenge, and so my skin was really dry in addition to breaking out. So I added the Renewal Elixir. So really, that's only like 3 new things to my lifestyle, and I noticed like so much more hydration and also so much less irritation. And then another thing that really astounded me was I know a lot of women have like, and I had amazing results with much less redness and irritation during that menstrual cycle, which normally I would dread, like, oh no, my skin is going to look like a pizza this week. And I really didn't have that. And so it was building on top of a already kind of consistent habit of identifying something new that I could change in my lifestyle to support my overall goals. And I've noticed the gut health was so impactful, in addition to just adding really like 1 serum and a mask twice a week.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that. And your skin does look amazing, but
Thank
I'm
you.
excited to hear that, because I'm like,
And I
you know,
did
I'm
notice
always like
some of
thinking, what
my,
can I add into my regimen too, and switching it up, because depending on what you're going through that time of month or whatever, you know, you can kind of determine what your skin and your body needs. So that's a great tip. I love that.
yeah.
I
And
also
I did
saw,
notice some previous like maybe like discoloration, or like scarring is maybe too strong of a word, but like evidence of past breakouts like really calmed down and kind of went away as my like 28 days started wrapping up. So that was really exciting for me as well.
yeah, and I think like too, being consistent with that the exfoliation is really great. So for those of you watching, think about some of those things. Like maybe I should start exfoliating twice a week. Maybe I should add, a treatment in for this or that. And if you don't have to be as big as us, like, we all use a lot of products, but just by incorporating one product into your regimen, you really can see great results with that. And sometimes it's good to start simple, and then you'll know what your skin needs. So I just appreciate. Yeah, go ahead, Vina.
I love that you have different ages. And I think that's really important on here is that, you have different ages that are still seeing that result with that consistency of 28 days. And then a couple of things I kind of wanted to bring up a little bit is that I noticed that a couple, you really love that vitamin C. And that vitamin C, because of the ectonin in it, the moisture, the hydration, vitamin C can be used year round. Our vitamin C can be used year round. And after 30 days, I don't know if you guys know this, but it becomes like an exfoliator. So I think that's really cool, the kind of vitamin C that we have. And also, Bobby had mentioned, and I think someone else had mentioned about the pill pads. That has the glycolic acid, that is our chemical pill, but that has our glycolic, our lactic, but it also has two really major players, and that's our vitamin C and our vitamin E that's in it, which is so great for our skin. It's so great for the barrier of our skin. Our skin, Lee, this last year has went through a lot. I mean, we're putting fabric on our skin that we've never put on our skin before. So the ceramides of our skin is really struggling being healthy. The barrier of our skin struggling to being healthy. So right now, I think this comes at a perfect time, this 28 days, because what it's doing is it's going to help us power through with our skin, whether we had any problems or not. I don't know of anyone that doesn't have some type of struggle going on with their skin. So this is really the perfect time. And the one thing everyone talked about is they wash their face. How many times, Lee, do you laugh at me when I say, I just tell people, wash your face. Come on, guys. It's not
Start with
that
that. And if you're not doing a 3-step, start with a 3-step.
Yes.
Start with that cleanse, tone, and moisturize. And because honestly, that's the first habit to get into. And then once you get in the routine of that, it almost like I have to wash my face. Like I can't imagine not at this point, right? But you want it to get to that point where even if you don't wear makeup, you guys should still be cleansing your skin. And I love that you pointed out all ages, but what I would love to see is more men taking part in this challenge, because men have the same issues as us, and all of our skincare is great for them. They can take the custom skin quiz too. I would love to see more men doing this challenge so that we can hear from them and, cheer them on and hear their testimonials as well.
That's awesome. You know what? You just inspired me. My husband and I are going to do a couples 28 days of skin.
There you go.
Couples, right? I mean, listen, he needs to step up his game, right?
Well, not only that, like do it with a friend and hold each other accountable, because studies show that when you have someone, doing it with you, holding you accountable, you will do it, because they're going to check on you. They're going to ask you if you did it. And being, that you guys live together, you can do it together as well. So I love that. Absolutely love that. Well, if you guys are ready to get started, again, your first step is take that custom skin quiz, see what your results are. You can even post your results on social media and share that with us so we can check it out. Buy your products once they come. Take that before picture, get started, use our hashtags 28 days of skin, and share your journey and your success with us. And it's really that simple, right, guys?
Yeah. And it's never you don't have to start. I mean, if you have a friend that wants to start 2 days later, that's okay. It's still 28 days. And listen, the biggest thing is be that example. I get when you guys say, oh my gosh, having to show your face and on a social media. I remember when Lisa Martin said, Vina, why don't you do it before and after? I'm like, there's not a chance I'm ever going to wash my face on social media. Guess what, guys? I'm doing it. I have my own little private page and I wash my face and I simply show people, because what I have found more than anything is that people want to do it. They just don't know how. And, they don't know what to use. They don't even know what they need. So, like you said, let's do the quiz. Let's find out what they need and then show them how, but be that example. And if I can make a comment, it's great when you put your before and after on our motives pages, but really we want to see them on your own social pages, because that's where it's going to get people's conversations going, right, Lee? That's where people are going to
Exactly.
start saying, hey, what are you doing? So we know what you're doing on our motives page. Do it on your own personal pages as well. So don't leave them out, because there are a lot of people right now really struggling with their skin. Those of you here, start tonight. Watch
Yeah, it's never too late to start. So a lot of you are like, when does it start? It starts when you commit to doing it. And then obviously the goal is to continue to do it beyond the 28 days. But I know that all of you watching, I know that, you have it in you to be consistent, because we heard from real life examples of just being consistent, adding in some of those products. And I would love to see all of you guys partake in this challenge as well. So start today, start tomorrow, start when your products come. If you have to get some, it's never too late to start. So thank you all for being here, and I can't wait to see all of you continue your journey as well, and check back in with us and share your ongoing results as well. So have a good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you.
Happy New Year.